Major five-finger patterns are one of my favorite exercises to use at the piano. They are so versatile, and with major five-finger patterns, you can really hone in on specific concepts and adapt the exercise to work on those concepts. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know that I don't really assign technical exercises a lot. I know, it's controversial. The main reason is because oftentimes people think that technical exercises in and of themselves will solve their problems at the piano. And that's simply not true, because unless you really know the purpose of the technical exercise, practicing technical exercises is often a waste of time. So I use major five-finger patterns way more often than I use Hannon or Czerny. So if you want one exercise that you can practice for about 2 minutes each day that will strengthen the skills that will support you in your goal of playing beautifully, this video is perfect for you. I'm going to cover 3 topics that major five-finger patterns are useful for. For each concept, I'm going to give you an exercise that goes along with it. Now, I've never shared these exercises on the channel, so make sure that you stick around for all 3. Let's dive in. So the first exercise that I want to share with you is really helpful in getting comfortable moving around the piano. Oftentimes, if you're in that point of study where you're starting to play more complicated pieces that require large stretches or changing hand position often, it can be really challenging to get to the point that that feels natural and fluid. So this way of using major five-finger patterns is really going to help you with that. Focus on our wrist floating off the keys and making an arc and landing in the next hand position. Start very low on the piano. You can do this one hand at a time, or you can use both hands. If five-finger patterns are new to you, I would suggest starting with one hand, but if they're easy, go with both hands. So start on the lowest five-finger patterns that you can find, and as soon as you hit that last note, you're going to float off the keys and you're going to arc your arms up to the next five-finger pattern, an octave above. You're going to do the same thing, and then you're going to arc your hands up to the next five-finger pattern. And you're going to do this going all the way up the piano and all the way down the piano. Now, with that exercise, you want to make sure that when you're arcing through the air, you're taking your time and you're focusing on making that movement very graceful. You're not rushing, and you're also not sliding across the keys, because what we're really focusing on here is lifting off of the keys and resetting in a new hand position. Going to strengthen your visual memory because you're going to have a much stronger sense of where the different octaves are on the piano. It's going to strengthen your muscle memory because you're going to be able to feel the distance between those octaves, and it's going to strengthen your aural memory because you're going to be hearing what it sounds like to move up and down the keyboard throughout the various octaves. Now, before we go on to the second exercise, I'm going to throw a couple of comments up here from the channel. I love reading what y'all have to say. I appreciate when you tell me if you like the video or if you really got something out of the video. I also love getting suggestions from you all about what you want to see more of and what you need from me on the channel. I really consider this to be the most incredible community, and you are a vital part of that community. So thank you for being here. If you're liking this content, give it a thumbs up and go ahead and share this video on your social media pages. Not only does it really help me out, but it makes sure that you get this message out to other people who will find this video very useful as well. All right, the second exercise is going to focus on music theory. Big reason that some aspects of music theory are important is because they really just help you to understand patterns in music better. And the more that you can understand and identify patterns in music, the easier it's going to be for you to open up a piece of music and be able to play it well faster. So when you are playing major five-finger patterns on the piano, if you take the bottom note, the middle note, and the top note of a major five-finger pattern, that gives you the major chord of that five-finger pattern. So if I'm playing a C major five-finger pattern, C, D, E, F, G, bottom note is C, middle note is E, top note is G, that's a C major chord. And any major five-finger pattern can give you that major chord. And so as you're practicing the major five-finger patterns, go the extra step. Play the broken chord. So you play the notes of the chord individually, and then you play the notes of the chord blocked. But when you're doing this, you're not just gonna tune out and allow your fingers to do the work. You're gonna really start to internalize what these chords are. And so you're gonna say the notes of the five-finger pattern out loud, you're gonna say the notes of the chord out loud, and then you're gonna say the name of the chord. And this is gonna really help you start to make the connection between the notes that you're playing on the piano and the theoretical concept of the major five-finger pattern and the major chord. It's going to start to help you memorize what some of those chords are. And before you know it, you're going to have an entire bank of information of chords and major five-finger patterns that you can draw upon at any point. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, E, G, E, C, C major chord. You'll also recognize them much faster when you see them in music. The third exercise that you can use major five-finger patterns for is musicality. So you can practice using these major five-finger patterns to work on dynamics or articulation or even pedaling. And this is where you get to be a little bit creative and you get to take the blank canvas, which is the major five-finger pattern, and apply a concept on top of it to work on that specific concept. So I will do this all the time with dynamics, and it's really helpful to narrow and to focus on one thing at a time. So let's say that you want to work on crescendos. So you could actually take that first exercise that we did where we start at the bottom of the piano, we go all the way up and we go all the way down. But with every single major five-finger pattern, you're going to work on making a steady and even crescendo from the first note to the last note. And each time you play the five-finger pattern, you're really going to not only work with your fingers to try to create the sound, you're going to listen, notice every single note, ask yourself, am I making a perfectly even crescendo throughout that five-finger pattern? Let's see an example of this. You could do this with decrescendos, you could do this with just playing piano or just playing forte. There's really endless things that you could apply to the blank canvas of the major five-finger pattern. Now, if you want to delve in more to major five-finger patterns so that you can go beyond C major, then go ahead and check out a video that I did a very long time ago that teaches you how to make all of the major five-finger patterns on the piano. It's a super quick video. You can go ahead and watch that. The link is right here.